Today I'm going to show you how to do a paleo pad thai using the spaghetti squash again. Yay! So this recipe is a little bit complicated in that it's got a bunch of things kind of going on. So I'm going to read you the list of ingredients first rather than showing it to you. So we're going to start with one batch of sunshine sauce. Now this is going to be your peanut sauce replacement, and I will show you how to make that in just a few minutes. So we need one batch of that. Then we're going to use 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of coconut aminos, or I have this fantastic stuff. This stuff is pretty widely accepted in the paleo community. It's called Tamari. So it's a gluten-free soy sauce. So we're going to use some of that. Half of an onion. You can use snap peas, but I'm going to use broccoli because that's just what I have. Then spaghetti squash and grilled chicken thighs. So begin by halving your spaghetti squash. Look, I'm on a steady surface this time. Now scoop out the seeds. Spray both the baking sheet, covered with parchment paper, and the the spaghetti squash with olive oil, face down. Now roast it in your oven for about an hour on 350 degrees. Okay, now we're going to season our chicken thighs. If you remember my very first video, I did the chicken the exact same way. And some of you asked for the measurements on the garlic, salt, and black pepper. Since I use it so often, I've created a large batch of the seasoning. So if you want to create this seasoning to go on hand, it goes on so much stuff. I put it on roast, steak, chicken, any kind of meat, especially if I'm searing it or grilling it. So this is a cup of salt, 1/4 cup of freshly ground pepper, and 1/4 cup of garlic powder, just mixed in together. Okay, so we're going to generously sprinkle the chicken thighs with the seasoning. So no specific measurements here, just sprinkle it on there and rub it in. Spray your George Foreman with a little bit of olive oil and place your meat on the grill. Okay, so now we're going to cut up our chicken breast after it's been done. Now, if you start cutting your chicken breast and you discover, like I just did, that it's not cooked all the way through, that's okay. Just slice it all up like you were about to and stick it back on the grill. So just chop it up into little small pieces. The recipe calls for diced, but whatever. Alright, so the ingredients for our sunshine sauce. You have 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 1 minced clove of garlic, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. They're gross, but I have to put them in because my boyfriend likes spicy stuff. 1 tablespoon of, I think I put 2 tablespoons. Well, 1 tablespoon of your Tamari sauce, or you could also use coconut aminos for that. I just don't have it. Then you're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of powdered ginger, half a teaspoon of rice vinegar, 1/4 cup of sunflower seed butter. Now make sure when you get your sunflower seed butter that it does not have any added sugar to it. And a 4.46 fluid ounce can of coconut milk. So now you're just going to want to throw all of that into your blender. And this is the consistency it will be. A little bit runny. You can use less coconut milk if you want to and add a little bit more sunflower seed if you'd like a thicker paste. I like it like this, and I like the coconutty flavor. So, set that aside for later. Now we're going to take some fresh broccoli, chop it up, and we are going to steam it. Okay, spaghetti squash is done. Again, if you missed it in my first video, this is how you know it's done. You put your knife in it. See how easy that goes in? Now flip it right side up. Look, I'm using oven mitts so I don't burn my hands. And let that cool. All right, so I'm just chopping up some, about half an onion, and I want it to be thinly sliced. So I just took it vertically and, well, it's kind of hard. And then I just went down like that. So when they're in the rounds, and then I just slice them a bit lengthwise like that. So they're thin. Especially the... Okay, so we're gonna take a skillet, some coconut oil, and we're gonna heat it up. Probably gonna use about 2 teaspoons of coconut oil in the skillet. I forgot that this recipe needs a bigger skillet, so scratch that small cast iron and get yourself a wok. Just go ahead and pour that, oh man, don't splash it on yourself. Just go ahead and pour that oil into your wok. I like to call it a wok pan. Yay, your oil's melted. Now we're gonna take that soy sauce and egg mixture and we're gonna pour it in the pan and let it spread like a pancake. Turn the heat down just a smidge and let them eggs cook until it's nice and brown on the bottom. All right, so if you kind of flip it, you can see that it's beginning to brown. So I'm gonna take my spatula and try to flip it over and let this side cook. There you go. Let that cook for just a little bit. Okay. The other side of it's a little bit brown now, so we're just gonna take it off, let it cool. Ah. No. And let it cool on a plate. Then we're gonna chop it up. So just go ahead and scrape it through. Oh, this one's not all the way cool. Try again. If you're in a rush like I am, you can always use an oven mitt to hold the spaghetti squash. This spaghetti squash is not as great quality as the last one that I got. It's a little bit pale, but it still works for your needs. This spaghetti squash that I got kind of sucks. It's really pale, doesn't really smell that fragrant, and it doesn't give off a lot of meat. Okay, eggs are cool, so just take a knife. I probably shouldn't do this on a plate. Oh well. Ugh, what a sound. So just take a knife and try to vertically cut them. Again, whatever. They fall apart. Cool. You still got cool eggs. Okay, now we are in the home stretch. We are going to take another teaspoon of coconut oil, heat it up in that same pan, medium-high heat. Okay, once the oil is heated, add your broccoli and your onions. Saute for about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 3 to 4 minutes, so you're gonna add the egg, the chicken, and the spaghetti squash. You really should use more spaghetti squash than this, but stinking spaghetti squash. Mix it around real well. I'm gonna go ahead and add some salt to taste. Not very much though, because the soy sauce is a bit salty in itself. Okay, now go ahead and add your sunshine sauce. And there you have your pad thai. You could garnish this with some slivered almonds or some chopped scallions or even some delicious cilantro. So there you have it, some paleo pad thai. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not a quick, easy, simple dish. This dish is kind of complicated, takes a long time, and I don't really enjoy cooking it. But that being said, it is so good, especially if you're craving a little bit of an Asian pad thai, or just any Asian food really in general. It's just so good. It's worth the effort. I'd say it probably takes me about 2 hours from start to finish to make the whole thing, but it's really good. This is what I would call a weekend meal. It's not something that I would whip up during the week because it is so tiresome. So I went ahead and I put the recipe below in the description, and I've also started a Twitter account. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter, and I'll be showing you some you know, sneak peeks of recipes, maybe some snapshots of things to come. So leave me a comment and let me know how you like this video. And if you enjoyed this, then go ahead and subscribe and share to all your friends. So that's it for today's Sunday meal. Don't forget to tune in on Wednesday for Whip It Up Wednesday, where I show you a really quick meal that I've made during the week.